We've had a long infatuation with computers taking over the world, robots taking over the world. Well, this artificial intelligence thing really is taking off in a big way. We have seen what it's already doing in healthcare. We've seen what it's doing in other industries. And, well, is artificial intelligence going to take all of our jobs? I don't know, but it got me to thinking. Taking some stuff back to the old school, had me rocking to some of those 1980s robot takeover themes, like this one from Midnight Star.
Freakazoids, robots, please report. Freakazoids, robots, please report to the dance floor.
Yeah, you see me dancing right now in the studio. We got it going. Hey, and we're going to talk all about this and more on this episode of License to Live.
Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Welcome to episode 149 of License to Live. My name is Dr. Jarrett Patton, and I am your host for our journey together today and every day you choose to listen to this show. If you or anyone you know has been dissed in their career, please invite them to join us along this journey. Just go to your favorite podcast player and hit subscribe. And while you're there, rate us. Let us know what you want to hear about, the things you want to know more about, so we can keep providing you the most up-to-date information about career challenges and life changes. This week, we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence. Again, AI is going to take over the world. And we're not talking about the answer, Allen Iverson. We are talking artificial intelligence. And we are noticing jobs get lost. But at the end of the day, this is nothing new. And, well, we just are going to have to adapt. We're going to have to take aim. And give you a little bit of history and tell you what it means right after we finish thanking our sponsors.
Something smells good. EH3 coffee. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. Nothing better than waking up. EH3 in your cup. Premium organic. EH3 coffee. Nothing better than in the middle of your day. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. EH3 coffee.
Hey, this is Dr. Jarrett Patton. Do you need more positivity in your life? No matter what part of your life you want to transform, positive affirmations can help you achieve your goals. But sometimes making permanent changes can be difficult. Designed with you in mind, License to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. License to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will set you on the path to changing your mindset, beliefs, speech, and ultimately your actions. You can change your life now by getting your copy at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your finer book retails, or licensedtolive.com. That's licensedtolive.com.
Hey guys, this is Janae Noonan, and I'm here with Dr. Jarrett on License to Live. Hit the subscribe, follow the journey. Let's go.
I wish I had my best robot voice right now. But I'm going to tell you guys, the early bird specials for License to Live will be beginning soon. License to Live, the conference 2023, will be at the Bellevue Hotel, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, July 14th through 16th. Mark your calendars. Well, for those of you who didn't like the intro, I don't know, Midnight Star by some weird way was one of my bands that I liked growing up. And it just came to mind as I was doing a little research on artificial intelligence and thinking about robots taking over the world. That Freakazoid robot was the one that was really going to take over the dance floor. So it had me going on. But so you guys go listen back to this song and you just think about it. But you think about how technology has advanced society. Technology has advanced the way people do their jobs. Technology has eliminated jobs over the years, and they're looking at artificial intelligence now as the next big job killer because people are starting to tout the fact that it can do things in a fraction of the time of a human. It can do things in a human-like manner. It can think algorithms through. It can, tell you what to write, what to sing. It's already creating, novel art. Artists are using artificial intelligence to create art prints. So now when you're seeing stuff in a shop, you don't know if it just was printed off of a computer randomly or somebody actually did a painting or some other artistic work. So there's a lot of lines that are blurring in society right now over artificial intelligence. And we're going to look at what it means in your industry, and we'll particularly look at what it means in healthcare. But technology taking over is nothing new. I mean, if we think back to the ideas of, somebody making copiers. Now, a lot of you guys went to school in the era, and I did, and used to have those, I can't even think of what that machine was called, but it used to roll out the copies. It's like a ditto machine or something like that. And it would roll out copies manually. You get them in class when they fresh off the roll, they would have some sort of smell that was probably toxic to you anyway. But you guys know what I'm talking about. In fact, hit me up on Twitter. Tell me what is the actual name of that ditto machine that people would kind of roll off in the schools and offices at the time. But then, hey, that with time went away. Somebody didn't have to sit there and hand crank something to make copies. The Xerox machine came into town, and that took over the copying business. Now people could print hundreds and thousands of copies in a fraction of the time with ease. So we look at the introduction of computers and how computers have changed our lives from, having reams of charts on file on paper into having everything digitized now. And there's some good and some bad out of this. One of my favorite examples is think about the telephone operator, and what that telephone operator did especially back in the early days before people were having to dial 9-10 digits just to reach somebody. Back in the days when you maybe just to do 3 or 4 digits. But even before then, there were banks and banks and banks of hotel operators right there, sitting in some warehouse somewhere. So when somebody picked up the line, an operator would be right there and help you connect the call before you were able to connect calls yourselves. And so there were so many operators, but then those systems got automated. And shucks, you fast forward into today and you're thinking about in 2023, if I have to call a 1-800 number, I have to speak to a robot for about 5 minutes before I can even get in the queue to talk to a human. So operators are a thing of the past. I don't know what any kind of customer service help you guys have had lately, but I know my luck has been bad sitting on hold incessantly. So where did all the operators go? Well, there wasn't the need for them. And again, machines take over. So this is nothing new in industry. However, this AI is a new tool. And when you're looking at different AI technology, whether it be ChatGPT, Google has some stuff coming up, OpenAI, Microsoft has been working on automated intelligence. And you think about what that means to people while they're out there and what they're looking at. And I mean, it's already interfering with education and disruption, because people are now just typing into these programs, say, write me a 2,000 word essay on the latest book, How to Kill a Mockingbird. And high school students are now coming up with novel written works, which makes school systems and boards everywhere across the land to start to say, hey, you can't use this to help you do your homework. You can use some other tools, but not this one, because now it's writing stuff that is novel and not even very well traceable on some of these programs teachers use today in order to see if people are copywriting or taking previous works. So it is getting extremely blurry out there as this artificial intelligence is getting, if we call it smarter and smarter, it's kind of learns from itself and it's continuing to learn. So there is some time to say, hey, what will happen? Will these jobs be taken by computers and artificial intelligence? Well, let's be real, folks. And we'll start looking in healthcare. I mean, because, robots have been used in all types of things, from assembly lines on into the operating room. I mean, the Da Vinci robot, believe it or not, folks, is over 20 years. This is the robot that is used in operating rooms today to help surgeons perform safer, more efficient surgeries that perhaps have better recovery time. So it ends up being, in many cases, better for the surgeon and in most cases, better for the patient. And this is a robot that has now been in existence for about 20 years, and it didn't really take away surgeons' jobs, so to say, but it certainly enhanced them and made them better, and a lot of the clinical outcomes are good there. So that Da Vinci robot's been around 20 years, and, well, we still have as big of a need as surgeons as we ever had. When we're thinking about more even modern approaches, when we're actually talking about some form of artificial intelligence, well, yes, it's being used in fields like dermatology, pathology, radiology, because these are very image-heavy disciplines. And if you're looking at a skin rash, if you're looking at a chest x-ray, if you are looking at some sort of cancerous slide under the microscope, these actually work pretty well with artificial intelligence. The machine learns what these things look like, it understands what they look like, and it's able to identify things that are normal, abnormal, and even give you some clues. Now, again, this is not right now eliminating radiology jobs or pathology jobs or even dermatology jobs. These specialties are just as strong as ever. However, it may change the way things are done. And it's going to be up to us, and especially in healthcare, to decide how we use this technology and how this technology will help us grow and help us get better. As a result, we may have to put some regulations around it, but we're going to have to work together. And the research is already coming in. Some of these things are pretty good in what they do. No, I'm not ready to hand over the reins of my healthcare to a bunch of robots and computers. Definitely not yet. But I don't know. Are we going to be going there? So it presents a very challenging problem that we're all going to have to figure out. But we know that jobs change over time. The skills that are needed are over time. And when we come back from the break, we are going to talk about some things that you can do to keep yourself competitive in a market where AI is trying to take over. We'll be back right after this message.
The time is now to refresh your career. We help doctors, lawyers, executives, and VIPs refresh and restart. Dr. Jarrett's coaching helps you build confidence, gain more credibility, develop more leadership skills, and gain clarity in your career path. Want to climb the executive ladder or branch out on your own? We'll put your career in overdrive. Visit drjarrett.com and sign up for your free strategy session.
I do have availability on my calendar. It's not a lot, but you should check out that strategy session. I love meeting new people. I love talking to new people, hearing where they are in their job situations and seeing what kind of things they want to achieve in their life. And I love the challenge of someone who is really ready to make that change. So make sure you go to Time with Dr. Jarrett, and you can hop right on my calendar. So let's look at what we need to do if you think that AI is going to take over your job. AI is going to take over your industry. I'm going to challenge you all to take AIM. Yes, that's A.I.M. And with A, we're going to talk about adjust, the adjustment of your attitude. Yes, adjust your attitude. If you are looking at artificial intelligence as a threat, or if you're looking at it as something stupid, well, you are not going to be able to stop this. The techies have this thing out of the bag, and everybody's at the race to make the perfect AI system. So there's nothing you can do to prevent it from coming in. But what you can do is embrace the technology. Know that there's something in there that could be actually good for you. It's something that could be good for your field. And it may just be another tool, because let's face it, tools have made our lives easier since the day we found out about the wheel or the hammer or the spear or any number of inventions from the beginning of time onwards. So these tools can be something that, although they're scary, just learn a little bit more about it and see where it can be. Let's look at electronic health records, for example. I was an early adopter of EHRs back in the day. I remember, oh my goodness, this is probably almost a couple of decades here, saying we had a pediatric clinic. We wanted to, knowing that the electronic health record was going to be coming, there was nothing we could do about it, but many places didn't have it yet. And the hospital system that I worked for was looking to start electronic records. And at the place that I worked previously, they had just started putting in electronic records. So I had seen them before. It's not the way I was trained. None of my medical training helped me for electronic health records, but I said, all right, I can understand the utility. And I said, we're going to make that leap forward. In fact, we made that leap forward so early in the game. By the time the implementation started, that system didn't even finish. So we were one of the first practices that had to do an electronic to electronic health record conversion, which was also pretty crazy. But at the end of the day, this is a tool, like it or leave it. It's a part of our lives right now, and we go. But it reminds me of Tom. Now, Tom was a brilliant guy. He reminded me of Rain Man. I mean, he would know names, numbers, dates. It would all be in his head. And guess what? He was our medical records guy. So if a patient showed up last minute, if a patient needed more information, Tom was the guy. He would go digging around those chart rooms. You remember those big, huge chart rooms? He'd be rolling those big chart shelves around, trying to get in between the shelves and the stacks and getting the chart that you need. And most of the time he said, oh, who? What? Oh, okay. And 2 minutes later, he'd be back with the chart. You're like, wow, how does he do that? And time again. But then there would be a time when Tom would just look at you, never heard of him. I don't think we have that chart. And I'm thinking to myself, how do you even know that without even looking? And so I think he would go humor me and go missing for a little while and go dig around some charts and still couldn't find a chart. And sometimes we would encourage him to go back, and you go back one more time and look, and yeah, sometimes he would find that chart, but sometimes he wouldn't. And then you'd be stuck with nothing, which was a primary issue of these paper charts. They were in one physical location. If you needed it somewhere else, too bad, so sad. And I don't know what else to tell you, but that's how it went. And unfortunately, Tom, he kept his job for a very long time because even through the medical record transitions, he learned how to use the computer and the EHR. He was essential to the conversion part, and he ended up keeping his job until he retired at some time. So it didn't necessarily eliminate his job. It just changed his job. And that's why you must adjust your attitude. Identify ways in which you can become involved. Maybe that's 2 I words, because listen, there are a lot of things in technology you're not going to be able to stop, whether you like it or not. So it's one of those old adages that say, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. So after you have adjusted your attitude, become involved. Become involved with the discussions. Become involved with the research and just exploring the possibilities on how these new tools can actually help and assist in your job while not looking at them as a threat. Because your involvement will provide that voice that uses your expertise, it uses your life experience, your professional experience, and it helps others kind of see the world through your view. So if you're taking care of patients day by day in the hospitals and the clinics, in the executive suite, listen to someone who knows a little bit about the subject matter and then learn a little bit more, become involved, and identify ways in which you become involved. And because at the end of the day, if you are able to express your concerns, and you can also see some benefits, you can help shape policy. That is what's missing in healthcare right now. There is no policy about artificial intelligence reading x-rays. People are experimenting with it and saying, this is a neat application. It looks pretty good. It's doing a good job of what it's supposed to, especially when you put it up to its human counterpart. So it's all about just trying to have a better understanding and being involved. And finally, with M, you got to move forward. Keep it moving. Keep it moving, son. You have to keep moving despite what's going on. Even if you feel that computers, robots, AI are an imminent threat to your job, just like in 2 episodes ago, we were talking about the job losses that are going on in License to Live. So if you are really about to lose your job and it's due to a computer, well, you need to move forward anyway. Again, this is something you can't change, the inevitable. And even though things are changing, there may be something else you can do. And so that means you need to take aggressive action and move forward. So if you want to stay in the same company in which you belong, let's look at other ways that you can translate your skill set to do something different. Maybe it's time to move into another industry. Maybe it's time to move your act to get to writing that CV and getting it together and opening up that LinkedIn profile. And hey, when you open up that LinkedIn profile, hit me up at Dr. Jarrett. Spell out the word doctor, J-A, 2 R's, E-1-T. And I love to connect with people on LinkedIn. But you need to move forward anyway. You know, on this show, and I won't go down the laundry list of episodes, we've talked about things like distractions and how the distractions can get the best of you. I know some of you guys are like, what is ChatGPT? You guys are on ChatGPT right now, playing around, having it do all types of cool things that it can do, which is absolutely fine. But if you are in this predicament, you need to move forward anyway, because nobody's going to pull you out of this mess. So again, you have to be the one that has a heightened credibility. You have to be the one that has more marketable or different skills. You have to be the one that goes out and gets additional certifications or anything that's going to make you more appealing for another job. And this is just some of the basics that we're talking about. This is what I talk about on strategy sessions. This is some of the plans that we put together with my clients. You want to make your career destruction proof. You want it destruction proof. You don't want some big distraction, some big bomb. You don't want something coming in, blowing everything up that you've worked so hard for. No, you need to take proactive action. You need to move forward anyway and find ways in which you can maintain employment on the same method, or you can maintain it on another method. And hey, this is what I'm here for you right now. And all you have to do is give me a call. Remember, fire starters, if you or anyone you know has been dissed, please invite them to join us along this journey. Just simply go to your favorite podcast player and hit subscribe to License to Live. And while you're there, rate this episode, give me feedback, connect with me online, because I love to connect with people online and in person. And make sure you're saving that calendar date, July 14th through 16th, License to Live, the conference. It will be back. It is in Philadelphia. And we will see you next time.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jarrett's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.